Okay, so I'm getting prodded to post something, and I was kind of cruising around looking at different comic stuff that's online, and want to give a shout out first of all to Robert Games HD, who's given me some added support, helping me out with thumbnails and some basically shout outs and stuff, kind of like giving me some shares and stuff. So kind of like a producer. Anyways, I was watching these comic bits called First We Feast, and it's Hot Ones is the if you YouTube search engine Hot Ones or First We Feast, it's like them eating these range of hot sauce levels from wings, as they're being asked questions, and their interviewer is doing the same thing. So they're basically going to go along and seeing how long they can last. Some interesting stuff. But my story today is basically when I've worked on a bunch of movies, not a lot of high-end level stuff, but I've worked, movies probably over 100, TV and film, working background stand-in and in different levels. But I actually worked on Fight Club and worked on it. Technically, it was supposed to be before principal photography, before they actually shot principal photography, but Ian Bailey was on the set. We're actually, the first day that we shot, we broke satellite dishes that were during the Project Mayhem bit, and then they had to come back and reshoot those, but we were up on the top of the roofs bashing out satellite dishes and all black and with the ski masks and all that. And then I'm the lead guy when you go in. They first start Project Mayhem, they blow out that computer store's window, like the big showroom window. I'm the guy in the front that's actually drilling the holes in the computers, and basically Ian Bailey is coming behind, and he's the only one that doesn't have a mask on. And then there's a guy, George, that's in the doorway kind of looking to see if anybody's coming on the inside of it. But there's three of us, and basically the story with that was luckily I was running and was in pretty good shape at the time, wasn't smoking cigarettes and was in pretty good shape. But basically David Fincher for some reason liked me, and George and I were the only background guys that were hired that day. And I remember getting to set, and Fincher is basically kind of a freak in the sense of he's very hands-on, he's very good at almost everybody's job, so there's a lot of tension on set, and that is pretty uncommon because most multi-million-dollar shoots, basically there's less tension because everybody has just one job title. But because Fincher is basically very good at a lot of different things, he's very hands-on. So he actually came out to the wardrobe trailer and went through our wardrobe with us, which George went through it first, and basically almost had him change everything. And then when I came up, it was like, yeah, that's fine, looks great, and kind of let me pass, which is kind of unheard of. So it was like, I was kind of like, okay, thinking he's kind of liking me. We go to do the shoot aspect, and Fincher just loves to do retake after retake after retake. So we shot it like maybe a total of between like 35 and 40 takes, but around the 20th take, what was happening is in the first handful of takes, they gave me the drill that had actually drilled the hole in that first computer. So the hole was already pre-drilled, and so I was supposed to pantomime putting the drill bit in it and then having it go through. But because it was the actual drill bit that they used, not a smaller size, it was catching it, and it was a fake computer, had no guts in it, and it was actually pulling the face off of it. So you could see that it was not a real computer after a couple takes. So it was kind of ruining the shot, or it would take longer to set up. So I tried to talk to the prop guy, and I was like, dude, you need to give me a smaller drill bit. And he's like, dude, we don't have time. He's like, you're making us look bad. He goes, come on, just work with it. So I had this basically two levels of, I had a black shirt on, and then I had a hoodie, a dark blue hoodie, and then a dark green leather jacket with jersey cuffs on it. And so what I was doing is I was putting my arm up on top of the computer like this to hold it so I could go keep a gauge on the drill bit as precise as possible so it wouldn't kick it. But what happened was it actually grabbed the jacket and then it kicked the drill bit into my arm. So I actually have I had to shave it because it's been years, but shoot, you can't see it now. I actually have a scar on my arm from, oh, there it is. You can see that right there. That little scar, it was about the size of a racer head that it cut into, but oddly enough, it's actually a scar of a reverse C, which I call it my Fight Club scar. But it looked like the size of your pinky for about, I don't know, maybe a year. For the first at least 3-4 months, it looked like an Audi belly button, and I thought I was going to have a major, it looked ugly. And then it just settled and then went in and I wound up getting butterflies on it, and that's it. But we did like 20 takes after I cut my arm, and it was literally where we had to stop because blood was going psh, psh, out of it, and I was trying to hold it up, and the adrenaline was flowing. I was sweating, and the medic, he's like, back to 1, which means back to start, and you're going to start over. And it was like, I was like, no, I'm hurt. And so they cut it, and he's like, what the fuck is going on in there? And you could hear it on the walkies. He wasn't in there directly. He was out where the camera and the monitor was. And they said, background guy's hurt. And you can hear him kind of like saying stuff. But so the medic came in, and she starts talking to me, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to go again. She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, but, adrenaline's flowing. It's like, you need to put some butterflies, sanitize it, like put some iodine or something on it, and you need to butterfly it and then wrap my arm, wrap my first layer, and then put the second layer of the leather jacket over it. And she's like, why? And I was like, because I'll fucking throw this drill through that plate glass window if it reopens. And she's like, whoa. And I apologized. I was like, I'm sorry, it's the adrenaline flowing. So that's exactly what she did. And then basically we did about 20 takes after it. And so, the irony is it's probably about a 6-second, top end 10 seconds in the whole movie. And we did probably like 40 takes on it. And then they blew out the plate glass window in the next scene. But it was, and I worked like 3 weeks total. And they initially hired me because I had longer hair, about as long as it is now, and one headshot, and then a shaved head. And that was the thing, was the Project Mayhem. The Space Monkeys were basically all these guys that shaved their head. So, and I was basically set up for to possibly get a line or an upgrade with it, and it just didn't happen because the second AD, something happened with the second AD, and it just didn't take a liking to me, and it was like, it just kind of got turned around. But I worked 3 weeks total off and on, and it was almost a full year of shooting where they did, which is unheard of in Hollywood. Hollywood, it's basically you get about 30 days of shooting, roughly about 4 to 5 weeks of shooting, and then it's a lot of editing, but it comes out about a year later. This was almost a full year of actual shooting where they had to come back and do reshoots, and then they had to come back and do reshoots. It was June 5th of, I believe, 97 or 98 that I started, and then it came back into the following year because I was still in LA when I saw it, so it was like 99 or early 2000 it came out. So it was like 98, and then somewhere in April of the next year is when I worked like the first and last day. That's when, I'd say like April 17th or something. That was the last day of shooting that I worked on it, and I'm pretty sure it was the last day of principal photography, and it never came back. But it's one of those movies that basically just became, I had a feeling it was going to be a cult classic while I was working on it, and it has. But it's just kind of the stories, and it had supposedly through SAG. I never pushed it because that technically, I could have sued production because it was dangerous. And I never came back and did anything, and I found out, I think you only had 3 months to file a claim. Found out a year later it had the highest amount of injury claims to date of any film that's been worked on. the amount of people that got hurt and things happened to him. And like I said, it was just one of those anomalies. And Fincher's awesome, but he's also, it's one of those, genius freaks kind of thing. So anyways, that's my story. Like, subscribe, and share. And if you can, leave a comment. So anyways, be well, people, and happy Thursday.